Today's workshop is about Elastic App Search and how you can instrument a particular application, leverage App Search to build search. Uh, that's what it is about. The way we will approach it is we will spin up a small Elasticsearch cluster in Elastic Cloud, and once we do that, you can set up a small instance or a small Elasticsearch cluster, set up our Elasticsearch, Elastic App Search instances. And then the second part of the workshop is more about how you would instrument that from your code. So, for example, you have a particular application, like there is a demo application that you can use that, you can modify the code and use App Search to make search happen. Talking about Elastic products, I think a quick recap. We are into three business areas. There's search, there's observability, and there is search products. Search products, everyone knows about Elasticsearch, and that's why people are here. We also have a set of products that are pre-packaged in nature. It is not just Elasticsearch. So with Elasticsearch, you do get your APIs, the REST APIs, the language libraries, but there's a lot of build involved. You need to set up a data pipeline to ingest data. And once the data is ingested, if you need to build a e-commerce like environment, or if you need to tune relevance or something, then you all have to do it by hand. When I say by hand, you have to modify the REST APIs, use the right query DSL to make to fire queries which would give you faceted or results or so on. And similarly, if you, while ingesting data, if you want to parse the particular data the correct way, then you have to set up your correct mappings and analyzers and what have you. With Elastic App Search or even Workplace Search, we make that happen easily. So in search, there are primarily three products. We have Site Search, which is a hosted SaaS service. And we have got, in Enterprise Search, we've got two products called Workplace Search and App Search. So we've got Workplace Search is for any data that is inside your organization. For example, if you want to search through email, if you want to search through Slack, through GitHub, through Confluence, and whatever repositories you have, Workplace Search is one single place to search across all the data that is there. Now, this workshop is not about Workplace Search. It is about App Search. App Search is, again, an abstraction on top of Elasticsearch. This lets you interface with Elasticsearch in a more seamless way. If you want to build a quick search experience for your application, whether it's a web application, mobile applications, or what have you, App Search lets you do it in a much more seamless way. Again, I'm showing you the website because so that you can go and look into it yourself later on when you need to. There is a start free trial option. There are certain links to videos that you can watch. And again, so there are some feature highlights, for example, how do you index data? We provide powerful search with less effort. And we have analytics into what kind of searches people are doing and which searches are actually leading to purchase and so on is something that you can also build fairly easily. And relevance tuning as a part of building search experience is also important. And again, so deployment, you can go into more details. We've got use cases, etc., more features about APIs, language clients, and so on. So let's get started. There is a particular page that is there on arvind.dev. So arvind.dev is Arvind's website on the internet, and this is where he posts a lot of cool and good content. What I'll do is I'll put it in the chat window. I can't for some reason find the chat window.
Animesh, I'm sending that.
yeah. Thank you. So Teams is a bit weird when it comes to when you're sharing your screen. Yeah, that's a high level about App Search. And if you, so this is a summary of what you will learn. So number one is, as I said, like Elastic App Search on the cloud. How do you do that? How do you, then once it is spun up on the cloud, how do you navigate to the admin console? How do you ingest data, etc., etc. And this is part one, as I was saying. Part two is this, creating a search experience with Python client. If we can't achieve all of that in the next 2 hours, then obviously we could, since information is available and you already have spun up a trial account, the trial is valid for 14 days. So you can build the client or the client experience later on as well. So let's get started with Elastic Cloud. So you see this when you go to elastic.co. If you are on any page, you can click on try free or login. So login if you already have an account, try free if you want to set up a free trial. So since I have an account, I'll click on, okay, let me do one thing. Let me click on try free actually. So this is where you would put in your email address, you'll put in your password, or you just go ahead and sign up with Google and you get started. So once you do that, you will see an interface which I would see once I log in. So this is our dashboard when you log in, and this is where you would create a deployment page from. So I'm not certain whether you can see the same exact page, because if you create a trial account, then the landing page might be a little different.
Animesh, can you make it the brighter, not the dark theme? Can you change it to the brighter one?
Okay, good question.
Day mode, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I will just ping the link. I think there is link, but if I will just ping the link. I think it's all there in the thing. Okay, now we have all the people into the session. There are 70 people now.
So
Yes.
this is the cloud Elastic one, right? I mean, but we can have an on-prem also, right? I mean, we can install in our premise and in a Docker environment, we can install the Elasticsearch also, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So
Okay, now, yeah, go on.
I just want to add something here as well. Say for Docker, you might want to use the ECK operator, the Kubernetes one. If you want to run it, we support that. It's free again. And for this cloud, the reason being we are doing is because with Azure, you can use the credits and deploy it on Azure. Even if you are running Docker, you might be running on some cloud. If you are if you're in the data center, your own data center, we recommend you to run, like your own stuff. But then in cloud, if you are running some cloud, it is better you do it this way, as it helps you to, save some money as well.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is from a cloud Elasticsearch own cloud environment, right? And but Azure also will have a Elasticsearch as a service, right? Marketplace service. Is that
Yeah.
true? Okay.
So let me add to that, Kumar. So we have, so this Elastic Cloud that you see here is essentially operated by Elastic, the company,
Yeah.
and this is available on all three major cloud service providers, whether it's Azure, GCP, or AWS. And one is, if you come directly to cloud.elastic.co, then you can have these options. The second option, as you rightly pointed out, you can go through Azure, go to the marketplace, and sign up on the same service. So essentially, in that, what happens? The billing gets linked to your Azure subscription.
Okay. But the
So
backend, it is actually leveraging the cloud Elastic.
exactly.
Okay.
At the moment, even if you come through Azure Marketplace, you will see the same UI. You get redirected to cloud.elastic.co. In
Okay.
the future, in the next few months, you will see a version which you can sign up directly from the Azure portal itself.
Okay. I got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I think for people who joined in late because you had to wait at the waiting room, a quick recap of what we are talking about. So this workshop focuses on one of our package search solutions. So we, again, like Elastic is in the business of three things: security, observability, and search solutions. Search obviously is not just Elasticsearch. We have got two package solutions, or three rather. We've got site search, app search, and workplace search. Site search is a hosted SaaS service that we operate through swifttype.com. Then we have got workplace search, which is for search. It's a classic enterprise search use case in which you search for information which is there inside your organization, whether you have data in email, SharePoint, your wiki, GitHub, and what have you. This workshop is not for that. This workshop is for app search. So app search lets you build a easy search experience quickly and more effectively. Say, for example, you want to integrate with a e-commerce application that you're building, then app search is the right thing that you would do. Um, App search lets you easily import data and then gives you all the right libraries and the right tools to make searches happen in a more seamless way. So any questions, feel free to interrupt. Otherwise, I'll keep going. So what we did just now is we signed up to cloud.elastic.co. You can go there, create a free trial. The free trial is available for 14 days. And this is what you should be doing. What I have though is a paid account or an account for employees in which I can go and create as many number of deployments as I want. So once you do that, you will come to a create deployment page. And this is where things start to get interesting. So there are 4 things, as I said, like security, observability, enterprise search, and the Elastic Stack. Elastic Stack is, these are pre-defined templates for these different solutions. If you want to use Elasticsearch directly or the stack, your use case might demand that, then you should choose that. In our case, we will be selecting Elastic Enterprise Search. And then you get to choose which region do you want, whether you want in GCP or Azure or AWS. You can choose which region. I would say that choose a random region as per your interest. I would choose something like, say, GCP, Azure Tokyo, for example. It's completely random. And then version 7.10 is our latest version that we released a couple of weeks ago. You can choose other versions if you want, but if not, the latest version has more goodies compared to the older ones. So I would suggest you choose 7.10 and stick to it. Then obviously there are some security features and monitoring data that we can send to another deployment. You don't have to do that at the moment. We do not need security. So when you would want to enable security is when you want to do some kind of a VPC peering, or you want to make it only restricted for a certain set of IP addresses. That's when you would use security. You can name your deployment, maybe say Azure Day Test, or test ES Enterprise Search, or Apps Search Deployment, something like that. And go ahead and click on Customize. So if I click on Customize, this is what I get. I think your options will be grayed out. You will be limited to 2 into 4 GB. So what I would do here, and what I would recommend that you also do, is select 2 into 2 GB instances for Elasticsearch. At the end of the day, the way AppSearch architecture is, AppSearch keeps all the data inside Elasticsearch. AppSearch is just an abstraction layer, both from an input and a search perspective. Then obviously we have other things, like if you want to integrate SSO, then you would put that into elasticsearch.yml and so on. Other than that, what we'll do is we come with 1 GB default Kibana. Kibana is used for visualizing the data that is there. The second thing Kibana is also used for is for manageability perspective. If you want to do anything with Elasticsearch cluster, like define new indexes or what have you, you can do with Kibana. If you want to add more users, you can do it from Kibana as well. And you can see monitoring dashboards from Kibana too. APM, I think Arvind's sample code also uses APM. So I would add APM node. So I would add the default APM node, which is 512 MB RAM. So the 512 1 GB, these are the RAM that is defined. And Elasticsearch is more from a RAM perspective. And then this is what we need. Elasticsearch, again, 2 GB into 2 zones is what I would suggest that you go ahead with. So to recap, you can see on the right side, Elasticsearch have total of 4 GB memory, 2 GB per availability zone. And then 32 gigs is the storage that I get. Kibana is free. I do not need to worry about. APM is free. I do not need to worry about it. Enterprise search memory, I think 4 GB, 2 into 2 AZ again. And this is the price, etc., which is also provided. Now, once I do this, all I need to do is go ahead and click on create deployment. And it will immediately kickstart the deployment creation. I hope you're doing it, like all of you. I'm probably going a little too fast, I guess. But since it's much more straightforward, so I thought of completing it till this point, and then waiting.
If you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and then, I mean, of course, you can unmute and speak. But you also please let us know by raising hands so that we keep in mind and we stop, and then we can answer the stuff, as well as write in the chat if you have. But please let us know if you have any questions.
And so once you reach there, make sure you download the credentials. You can obviously come back later and reset that, but I would suggest you just go ahead and download this for now. I think let's give it a few minutes of pause here so that people can catch up. I think if we were doing this in a live environment or at like in a classroom environment, then it would have been much more easier to assist people. Online is difficult, I agree, but feel free to speak up. Feel free to ask if you're stuck anywhere. I think it's 1:29 right now. Let's give about 11 minutes or 10 minutes now. Arvind, there's some feedback coming from your side.
Yeah, I'm not on mute. I'm going on mute now.
Yeah, thank you. When you speak, it's fine, but whenever you are on mute, sometimes it is just this.
So we are doing the enterprise search part of it, right?
Yes, Kumar. So once if you've come to this stage, please in the chat window just put done or +1 or whatever, to so that we know that you've done till this much and we can progress.
So I just clicked deployment, create deployment or that option. Then I'm getting the credential. That's fine, right? I have.
That's perfectly fine. Yes.
So if you have any questions or if you want to, if you are stuck in some place, please let us know. We are gonna wait and then make sure that everyone is on same page and like then we go ahead. So you need to definitely speak in this session because it's really difficult. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, you would lose out and then we don't want to.
So this enterprise search is mainly to search our email and logging. Can I consider that would be the potential use case?
So basically, see, don't go by the name enterprise search because the reason is enterprise community. So in open source company, when enterprise is being said, people think that okay, it is for the commercial interest. No, it's not that way. The reason enterprise came in because it is used by enterprises, and this particular product is also available as free, so that you could download and deploy it on your own whatsoever it is, okay, on-prem. So basically enterprise search is a solution umbrella under which there are multiple products that we have. One is app search, okay, and when you're talking to app search, you can build products projects like these Swiggy, Zomato, or the search engines which are powering, or applications, where the web applications which has search backend, and search is a core of it. For even for e-commerce, some of these e-commerce, search is a core part of it. So so that's the major focus area here, and it is not just specific enterprise, or not that it's not that way differentiator. We're calling it as Elastic Enterprise Solution, Enterprise Search Solution, which also contains this workplace search, etc., etc. Okay, I believe that I cleared it.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Are everyone done with this step? If you have, please raise your hands. Okay, Shashank said, let's start by naming your first engine. I think you are ready, Shashank. So we are ready to do this. You have deployed it. So once you click enterprise search, and then you move on next, so you will see the next screens. So others, guys, please speak up, because this is virtual and it becomes really difficult for us to find out anything. So either speak up or raise your hands, and that way we could take things forward. No one? Okay, we'll continue. Animesh, you can go forward. I believe that they have done probably. If you have, please raise your hand. Yeah, that would help us.
I think, Arvind, let's give it a couple of more minutes. And if there is someone who are expecting us to show it how it is done, we are happy to do so.
Yeah.
The value of the entire workshop is when you also do it along with us. So that's what the expectation that we have, that you will try it, so that you also take back more, instead of just seeing someone on the screen doing it and listening to that person. So if you're actually doing the steps, please try and complete it till this point, and we'll get started. So it's 1:36, another 2 minutes, and let's get started.
So Animesh, Shashank here. So by the time others are deploying their clusters, so I wanted to ask, like, for this app search to work. So you said like this can be used inside a company to search on internal documents and all. So you'll be showing the sample app with some data, like how to ingest data and all also here, or do you have a sample set already prepared?
So Shashank, I think we have a data set already in the workshop. Whatever the link that Animesh has shared, we have a data set. You need to download, and we'll ingest that data. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll ingest the data and we'll create the search experience.
Where is the actually that data set?
We'll get to the point. If you are looking at the link, you can drive down to what is the place. You can go to the about data set, ingesting data into Elasticsearch search engine. That is the section name. If you come down enough, you will see that as well. We are just going one by one, not to rush.
Okay.
So Arvind, thanks for jumping in. I was actually on mute and was trying to get me some coffee. Yeah, so I got my coffee, and I think interesting question, Shashank. So once we let's talk about enterprise search. I think there's some confusion that we have. So over here, what I'll do is I'll open up enterprise search. So this will log into a Kibana console.
Okay.
And this is what it will show me. There are two options, right? So we've got app search and workplace search. So this is under the enterprise search umbrella that Arvind was talking about. Workplace search is a significantly different thing, and app search is a significantly different thing. So when you are inside an organization, and for example, I have a company, or say for example, inside Elastic, there are a variety of tools that we use. Like we have email, we have GitHub, we have got Confluence, we have
Yes.
got Dropbox, we have got Google Drive, and a lot of other tools, right? So when somebody has to search, what does that person do? That person has to go to email first, search in an email, or go to Confluence or something, and so on. Now that's one way. And the second way is traditionally there for specifically for large enterprises or organizations, there is often an enterprise search tool which is provided to search through these particular different properties. Now these tools are quite legacy. So similar for that kind of a use case, what we have done is we have come up with the name Elastic Workplace Search. Um, and that's what we have got here. All right. Now, the second option that we have is Elastic App Search. Okay, quick thing about the name is workplace is inside workplace. So that's how you can remember it. And app is for application. Now, you are developing an application, like you're responsible for developing and managing web apps or mobile apps. And for that, you need a search. Like if I go to Zomato, I have to search, right? Or if I go to e-commerce, say Zara mobile application. So that is something which will give me a search interface to search through different products that they have. Now that is something which is buildable via the Elastic App Search. So they are very distinct products. I think probably as Elastic, the company, we need to do better with how we name our products. But yeah, Elastic Workplace Search is the North Pole and Elastic App Search is the South Pole. But they both come under Elastic Enterprise Search. Hope that helps. And for the purpose of this today's workshop, we will carry on with Elastic App Search. So after, if you have reached till this stage, and if you want to continue with App Search, all you need to do is click on Launch App Search. So this is, I think, Shashank, I guess you talked about how you've, I think you're already seeing this. So let's park at this, or let's stop or pause at this place for a little bit. Go back to Arvind's document and see what we have. So we have done these steps. We have created the Elastic Cloud account. We have gone ahead and created our particular instance and everything. And we have reached till this stage. So creating a search engine. Now, this is where we need to create our search engine name, and post that we will get into how we ingest data into that particular search engine. Sorry. So once we have done this, we can name the engine as Arvind, a quick question. Sorry, I haven't seen your data set. What does your data set do? Like what kind of a data is it?
Yeah, Animesh, if you could go to the session, I think like the screen. Yeah, go to the about data set, ingesting data into search engine about data set. Yeah, so the data set is a movies data set actually, and yeah, and it is all the Bollywood movies that we have. I didn't find better thing which contains all of the stuff with respect to the India ecosystem. So I was just choosing.
Where did you get the Bollywood data set? It's interesting. It's not Movie Lens for sure. Right?
I got it from Kaggle. So this is a Book My Show database, I believe. Some of these. So yeah, and it contains some stuff. So this is a movies related database. You find all the Hindi movies and some Bhojpuri, some other places. So this is like some good amount of movies actually. But what we will do is like we will not exactly, to be honest, we will not exactly use this data set from here because this is very large. and you might not be able to ingest. You need to ingest through the API itself, and we will further do it. But for the time being, Animesh, you can go through the guide and see, name it like movies, and then later delete it when we are trying to do it via app.
Exactly. That's what I was asking. Is like, what do I name it? So, say for example, I do workshop movies, something like this, and you can choose which language you want. Say for example, if it is in Chinese, so we'll use the Chinese analyzer to parse the data and so on. So for us, it is universal, and then we'll go ahead and click on continue. This is where you add documents to an engine. So can we upload the entire JSON file?
You have to download the data set. Like,
Okay.
you definitely have to download the data set, and remember
And
this
some,
particular.
okay.
Yeah, and remember, you need to you have to kind of like can ingest only 102400 bytes. That is around 10 MB, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so this data set is much bigger than this. If you follow the doc, for folks, if you are following the doc, you can easily do it. I mean, we will just keep talking, and we will just do it one by one step. But if you are okay, please go ahead with the workshop,
This is
and please
100.
keep
This is
doing
100 KB. Yeah.
100 KB. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, it's not even 10 KB. Yeah, this is because of the HTTP payload and a lot of stuff. That is there. Just click close.
Hey,
I
I'm
think it's
sorry.
not that big. It's only 6.4
Yeah,
MB. It's not a
so,
lot.
but it is quite a big. I mean, decently sized. You can, yeah. Kumarvel,
Yeah.
yeah, you have
Yeah,
question.
Arvind, I'm sorry. I have put one screenshot. This is where we are standing now, or am I doing something different, or am I in track with the?
Oh, okay. You are at the cloud itself. So you need to click on the Elastic Enterprise Search deployment. The link on the top of your edit button to kind of like click on the Open Enterprise Search and click on the app launch app search.
So there is an enterprise search on the left panel. You see that there is an enterprise search. There's Kibana APM enterprise search.
Yeah.
Go into enterprise search. You'll find the URL over there. Open enterprise search.
Next to Kibana APIM, there is an enterprise search. That's the one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Click on launch. Yeah.
Launch. Okay. So how about the previous deployment that we did? I mean, we clicked create deployment, and we provisioned few tool zones and all these things. What exactly that, and what is this exercise?
I am not sure, Kumarvel. If you are saying that the deployment that we have used is the same thing that we are kind of like using it here again. I mean, we are
Okay.
not doing anything different. That's the same
Yeah. I
cloud
think what
deployment.
Kumaravel is asking is why did we do that? Like more
Yeah,
about like
exactly. We
what
just
is.
create deployment. Now we are,
Yeah.
coming back in our launch. So how these two parts link together, and where you are linking these 2 points.
Yeah. So let me do one thing. Let me get some more information. I think that will be useful for everyone. Um, I did this. I don't think we have it here as well.
Which one you are looking at?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
looking at a more of an architecture. Okay, I have the architecture. Sorry, I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. There you go. Research. Elasticsearch. Yeah. So Arvind, if you can go on mute. For some reason, I'm hearing echo from your side. Thank you. Okay, so this is a architecture of AppSearch. So what we did was on the right side, like there's Elastic AppSearch and there's Elasticsearch UI. So this is, sorry, the Elastic AppSearch. This is what we spun up. And this particular AppSearch is a combination of something that we call AppSearch but the backend, so app search doesn't have a storage. App search is essentially a set of interfaces and UIs. It's like an application only. There is no search engine with app, like app search doesn't have a search engine by itself. It uses a search engine on the backend, which is essentially Elasticsearch. So that's how app search is structured. I think a better diagram is here. Unfortunately, I'm confusing you probably with. So yeah, workplace search is, or this particular interface is something that we spun up. So we did Elasticsearch and we did Kibana also. So if we go back to our previous diagram, so whatever you spun up on Elasticsearch was this this blue box, which had app search, which had Elasticsearch, and which had Kibana. So that is what is required for app search to function.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Once we do that, again, we do have various things of various content that we'll be putting into app search. Now, once we get to app search, what app search will end up doing is put all the data into Elastic and then read from it when it needs to be, when information needs to be returned to the Elasticsearch UI. So this UI is essentially your application, whether it is a web application or mobile applications or what have you. And this will in turn read from app search. Okay, back to where I was before. I think this is where we would paste some JSON. This is where our data is. So I'll copy a few fields or few movies. Yeah. I think array of, okay, I need an array, right? So each document should be less than 100 KB. It's not, I think, not the entire thing. Let's see if it works. Okay, so we've added 5 documents, added 18 fields to the engine schema, and this happens automatically. Now we close that, we can go ahead and visit the dashboard. This is where things get interesting. And this is the particular engine that we have created. And in this engine, you can see that there are total 5 documents. So these queries that you see are internal in nature. And we can see some analytics, more analytics that there are no, these are the queries which come from Swift App dashboard and so on. And then if we look at a query tester, so these are the different documents that are there, right? So year of release, white sheet, India, surgical strike. If this is a tester, now if I search for URI, you can see that, okay, not URI. Yeah, but you can see that the original title, URI, the surgical strike, this is the first option. Now, what I want to do is the accidental primacy, I want to make sure that I give this higher priority. So I can, like from another place, I can tune the relevance as well. So I can go into the reference UI. I can, no, this is something else. I think there is a relevance tuning here that we can do. Say, for example, I do URI again. And over here, I can switch it around. Like, where do I want, if I can give some field more priority and so on. And then there are synonyms. Say, for example, for certain things, I need to add a synonym for certain data. I can add some synonym. Then there are curations that I can do as well. So curation is basically a fixed result that you want to give. So that is why curation. That's more or less it from my side. I would give you a few minutes to reach to this point and explore the UI, and then we can get into the next steps. Arvind, anything that you would like to point out at this stage?
No, I nothing. So I would like you two people to like kind of do this.
I have a question actually, Arvind. So first question is regarding, you showed something regarding the like relative score or something just now, right?
Relevancy score.
Relevance.
Also, can you explain that a little bit, like until others are going through the UI?
Yes.
Yeah. So this particular, right? So you see a score here, 0.76 and 0.1, right? Is that the one that you meant?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So whenever you do a search result, so there's a score which is calculated, and that score is used to rank the documents. So
Okay.
first thing, so see about search, you need to make sure that the documents that you actually want should be on top. Now, certain documents are structured in certain ways. For example, this has a title, this has a wiki link, etc., etc. Right? Now, if I want to increase the score for some reason, if there were other documents which was fairly similar in nature, um, then say for example, the is okay, the is also used. So for example, now if you look, all these the scores are very similar, right? So you can tune the score to give it higher priority. So for that, you will have to do relevance tuning. In that, I would say that I want to give priority to the title and not to the summary. So what I would do is I would increase this particular weight. This is called query boosting, uh, and I would give it a boost of 5. Now, since the is a very common word, it would not make much of a difference, but you can add a boost for this particular thing.
So okay, I got it. So this we can do only on this UI or like on Elasticsearch in general, like the query that you showed. Does it convert to some Elasticsearch query in at backend, or like this
That,
is specific to this UI?
that's exactly what we do in the backend is all the data gets stored in Elasticsearch, right? So
Yeah.
when we are doing these query tuning parameters, like when we are doing this boosting, so what happens is it doesn't get saved in Elasticsearch directly because Elasticsearch doesn't have a concept of query boosting forever. So you can boost while you make a query. So Elasticsearch, the data is there. So every time you make a query, you can provide boosts as well. So what AppSearch does is AppSearch gives you an easy UI to do all of these. It doesn't need you to define query DSL, right? So Elasticsearch query DSL, if you are a developer writing search queries, then it's fantastic. But if you're not that, and if you're just say full stack developer working with applications and etc., then you don't want to get into that level of detail, right? So this is why the purpose of AppSearch is.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, all these things map to Elasticsearch in some way or the other.
So this is not a replacement to Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch will still be there, but people who want to see, I was telling, I think in the first workshop also, that the people who use is quick to get started. For example, someone has a docs site, or someone has an e-commerce site itself. For example, Magento, people create e-commerce sites on Magento, and they want to do all of this, but they can't run Elasticsearch. They don't have time and money or energy to do that big thing. Okay. They want to do it. So even people like Walgreens, who is like e-commerce in US, just like Flipkart, so they do it, they use it. So it depends on the team, effort, everything.
And what kind of search can we do? Like I see only like this is like a like contains kind of search, right? If any of the document contains this.
No. This is not a content search. This is a full text search again. This contains all the things, like you could do synonyms, you could do curations that were shown, like Animesh can tell. I mean, we have a less corpus of data. When we ingest much more data, maybe we could show you most of the stuff which is there in the workshop as well. So if we go ahead, we'll find that as well. This is not a simple contains. You do all. That's why the score is getting generated. If it is contains, then it becomes very easy.
Okay.
So Kumarvel, you have a question? Please ask.
I think I should have added more documents for it to.
Yeah, I'm asking how do we get the document JSON file for us to upload it into the engine?
I think you go to this document that the link that Arvind had shared, and there is about dataset. In that it is given that we are using the movies dataset.
So one way is to work from the top down, another way is to work from the bottom up. So the top down approach I didn't take. It's like I do the server setting, the uploading of data from the search engine. What in this workshop we are doing is we are creating an app. We are using the API to ingest the data into the app. I hope you get my point. So we are just using, so there is API also. Animesh, if you can go to the console and show them if there is an API actually. I think somewhere it is there. Overview maybe. Is it overview? Even API logs, yes.
No. I think.
We didn't search. Maybe that's why API logs
I
are
think
not
we have
there.
to go to
But there is API.
the. Sorry, say it again.
If you go to the overview
Mm-hmm.
and index, maybe. Yeah, index somewhere it will be there. Query tester or index. You will see all of that actually. The law you will. This is again available as a API, and you could always you kind of like index documents somewhere like you could find out.
There you go. So documents and index documents. You can again do the same thing.
Indexing by API will take you to the API specification through which you can again do that.
Okay.
We have chosen the API way because I think
I got it, but I'm actually searching in your URL, that Aravind one, for that particular movie JSON file.
So let me paste the entire link so that it is easier. I just pasted it here. This is the.
Oh, you need to be logged in for downloading this thing. No, I think, right?
No, for downloading, I think you need to be logged in.
Oh.
Direct download, you. Okay, so it tries. There's a bit of a friction. It asks you to create an account or login.
Because when I created this was not there. Maybe this is a product improvement. I think it will be more animation. I think for 6 MB it is like a lot. It might say, it might not, maybe.
Yeah, let's see while others catch up. I think.
Yeah, you can try.
So if you have more data, then there are better examples that are show.
It should not take this much time.
Yeah.
Kumarvel, can you mute yourself if you can, please? You don't have any questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I think going back, what I'll do is, back to the documentation that we have. I think that is once we ingest the data via document import, we can use the search, use the API, and use a tool like curl. So that is what Arvind was mentioning. I think it should also be fairly straightforward. The only thing is that we will need to get the keys to be able to do that properly. And again, over here, there is a section around how do you secure it. So obviously, once you integrate with your application, you need the right way to access this data. So for that, we have a private key and a search key. So that's there. So there are more details. So for example, search is only for search. Private is both read and write, and admin is of course admin. And then signed search key is a signed private API key with a particular encryption algorithm. And that's how it is. And then, of course, over here, there are some more details about how to explore it, what it does, overview analytics, query tester, reference UI, and so on. And then post you do that, once you upload the data, you can go ahead and start building a search experience. So you can obviously create a search experience. And the idea is once you do that, you can also come back and tune the results, right? So the tunability of the results with respect to, okay, so this added, Arvind, pretty good actually.
Oh, I think they increased the size actually.
So
I
which
was not
is
trying this nowadays.
always good. So let's make some searches. All right. So I don't know. I can't think of
A
Anand.
movie.
All right. Let's talk about Anand, right? So Anand is fairly common. So it is there in your in a particular description. I think this is a plot description, and it is scoring 4.32. It might be fairly basic. I can expand this. But what I actually want is Anand should be there in the title for it to rank higher. So right now, Anand in the description is ranking higher. I would want Anand in the title. If Anand in the title is not there, then I would want in the summary and then the story. So what I would go ahead and do is work this out from relevance tuning. So relevance tuning. So first thing I would do is title, right? So original title and title, I'll boost these. So I'll boost this to 5, something like this. Like it doesn't really matter. That's one. Then I will do the same to title.x.
And Animesh, you could probably type Anand in the preview and change the relevance so that it directly
Okay,
impacts the query.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, even better. Anand. And you can actually see over here how things change. Now there you go. So original title X, since it is Anand, you see that they are scoring significantly higher. And since there are 2 Anands and 1 Anand, so I think it's even better. And then Anand Mutt. So you can see that anything which is there in the title and the is scoring higher now. Anything which is there in the story and summary now ranks much lesser, and it is the default score. What I'll do is in the story, I will boost summary more than story, so that we can even filter a little bit more. So story and what was it? Summary. No, there is summary. Yeah, summary. I'll boost summary by a factor of say 3. So you can see that now the entire thing is completely changed. So I would save it. I'll go back to the query tester and search for Anand again. And you see that it is the relevance is already taken shape and it is much better now. You can also obviously tweak it around, and if you want to rate the actors higher than the subject, or that you can also do. And for example, something which has Anand summary is better than the story. Yep. So quick, this was what we meant when we were talking about relevance tuning. Curations again. So if you want certain things to happen in a certain way. So if I do say, for example, again, same thing, Anand, and I search for it. Now what happens is these are the organic documents. What I can do is I can tweak them around. This is Dil and Nadan. Now what I can do is I can say that, well, I want, for some reason, I want Atish on top, right? So what I would do this is I'll do a promote. So this becomes like a promoted or a sponsored kind of a link. So for some reason, Atish the film should come up always, even if somebody is searching for Anand. So you can make these curations in a very simple way. There are a lot of other things that you can do from here. I would suggest that you take a look. You can also provide which is the one that you want to rank the first, second, and so on. That's there. And once we have already done this, I can go back to my API logs and see how many queries, what has happened. So these are different API events. This is about, I think this is about the search. You can see the details of what kind of a search did happen. This is the particular search request which was there. So all these API logs are there, and this can be exported over API as well. And then we have got analytics. Analytics will show you the total number of queries. These obviously also include the queries that you do from this particular UI. And if you do it from your actual web application or mobile applications, they would be able to show you more details. And then what are the clicks which are happening? We can see all of this. Over here, you see that UR, URI, all these are also there because auto-completion queries also get fired in a similar way. And then eventually click analytics. So this is how, if you click on a particular result, then it would also show you click analytics for that. Okay, I think we're pretty much done from this perspective, and Arvind, you can get into the next phase. I think creating a search experience, you can show how it is done. I think that will add a lot more color and a lot more visible thing that people can relate to.
Yep. So are everyone like up to this point? You have done your stuff already? Like if you haven't, we'll give more time. So you just need to, like, till now you just indexed the documents. You didn't do anything else. Like you didn't create an app, you didn't create a search UI. Actually, Animation showed a lot of stuff. Indeed, still there is a bit of more stuff that you can look at. Yeah. So if you are ready, we will get into the next level.
So Arvind, sorry to interrupt. Do you want the same endpoint?
Yeah, we could use that. So shall I start sharing screen, Animesh? Is it okay?
You share your screen and I'll send you this URL.
Perfect.
Over Slack, okay? Slack
okay.
It is.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
And I'll stop sharing it.
Great. So I'll be sharing the screen, and I'll also share the, the thing that we have. So we have downloaded this data. So I'll take probably slightly a bit different approach. Maybe to kind of like get more stuff. So let me get started. I hope you can see the screen. I'm just making it very bigger so that you are able to see this. Or let me make it a bit different. So meanwhile, please work on the stuff and then we will get back.
Arvind, what exactly is that you are doing right now?
Which one?
What is it exactly that you are showing right now?
I'm going to show, right? Whatever you are asking, what you are going to show, is it? Okay. See, till now what Animesh has done is he went through the app search from the cloud point of view, right? So he showed this guide and he walked you through the Elastic Cloud stuff, and he ingested the data, showed the UI, API, etc. And we also showed all of this. But how about creating a search experience? Suppose if you want to build, this is just a backend stuff that we are looking at. We are not looking at the front end thing, right? We are not building. How do we build an app on top of it? So that's what we are gonna do. So we're gonna build this Python app. And then, if you have an Azure account, we can deploy even to the cloud as well and directly connect it with the cloud. So that's what we're gonna do. So we have less time even if we don't, because I don't know how much awareness everyone has on the Azure services as well. But if we will not be able to do that, but we will at least build this Python app. I believe that some of you might be having some, maybe some idea on Python. But otherwise, like the everything is ready. You just need Python to be installed. Actually, I mean, if you just need only have to have Python, nothing else specifically required. So yeah, at least I'll show you. If you want to follow me and look into this, I'm more than happy to if you can do with me. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so Animesh will share me the search engine details, because I have a backend API to build the search engine, and then now we will quickly go and create this search experience. For that, I just need Python to be installed. Then there is a caveat here. So let me first create AzConf. I believe that you can see my screen. If not, I mean to say you can see my terminal clearly, right? Yes, people? Yes, no, please tell me. Otherwise, I'll be operating in the dark. So, okay, so now what I'll do is like I'll clone that the application. Before that, I'll also show you that, say, what version of Python I am in. Why? Because Python has this 3.x, 2.x problem. So we need to just be sure of it. Most of the computers now you have, even if you're running Linux, you will get Python installed. Even like Mac, maybe you just need to install using brew, and then I didn't like maybe I didn't write the instructions for installing Python because I thought it's basic. But then you can simply install, but whatever the operating system that you are using actually. So I have 2.7, but we need 3.x. I'll also tell you how we do that actually. I'll show you literally. So let us clone this. So this is again the code, everything is there on GitHub. So let us do this. Okay, and let us. So what I'm doing is like I'm creating a Flask app. Flask is a web framework which is very simple. If you are coming from some programming background, you will find it very easy, because like it doesn't have a lot of code. I have only one single file. I'll also show you that. But before that, we need to install the required dependencies. Let me open the code editor so that. Great. If you see here, okay, this one is again maybe small for you. Okay, see if you see here, I have a file structure. So VS Code file static, which contains some CSS files just for some beautifications thing, and I have HTML files which are my pages here. I have a Docker file and a gitignore file, and I also have config.json, which is very important for me to do this entire stuff. So I'll keep this as such open, and which is where we will give our engine details, etc. And then I have the full data JSON like 6.4 MB, and data.json, which is the smaller version of it. But because we ingested all the data already, then I don't think it is ideal to again re-ingest, so it is no point. And then I have a Docker compose. So what I'm going to do is like encapsulate and make it a Docker container already. So that is also there. And yeah, we can, I mean, this is a Docker file. I'm sorry, that is a Docker compose. And then I have this main.py. So the main.py contains this particular information that we want to take a look at. I mean, I'll explain this one as well. And then we have the requirement.txt, wherein there are certain requirements like, this particular thing and that particular thing. I'm not going to upgrade this thing because there are some changes maybe, and then I don't want to, screw up everything. So I just want to like run this one. So how do I like get into that? So first of all, my Python version is 2.7. I want 3.x. So I have also 3.x installed. So Python has this virtual environment, thing wherein you can create a virtual environment by kind of like doing all of this. So what I'll do is like I'll create this environment here, and then I'll show you how we can do that. So I'm creating a virtual environment named env, which is a Python 3 virtual environment. So I'll paste these comments in your stuff as well. And then we go to cd env. We are already in env. I'll say source bin. This is a bit Pythonish. I myself like is a activate. Where is that? Or I'm doing something wrong. So I'm a kind of like a Java developer. So I have some confusions as well when I'm doing this thing. So don't worry. Like I'm not a jump in all of this, so you can also do it. Okay, something is wrong with what I'm doing. Great. Yeah.
Sorry, where we are. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any questions, see, I think you should, you can definitely like kind of keep up and keep doing, just follow this particular document and keep just clone the GitHub repo and do that. I'll take a break whenever I install the requirements actually. So in this particular GitHub repo, I have multiple branches as well. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to build by one branch because we will take more time and we will also have a lot of issues. So maybe we'll spend more time. This is like a 4-hour workshop, but I want to like explain all of this to you. So that's why we are doing the first straight ahead, whatever is there, and that is available. So let me quickly go back and see what is the issue with my. Okay, this is there. So
Run it. Come on.
Animesh, you are saying something?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, the env command, you run it from here, from this directory.
Yeah, I think there is something wrong.
That's fine. That's fine. I think you're in the inside, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I entered into env. Okay, so now we are. See, I believe that we were previously with 2.7, now 3.8.2, like we came to the 3.x version. So every command that we run is Python 3 now from now on. So that is it. So that is to ensure that the app is properly built and the framework and all is there. So now let us see, let us do this pip install -r requirements.txt. Okay, so this will install the Flask framework. This will install the Unicorn server. This will install the Elastic app such stuff. So now we did two things till now: clone and set up the Python, and yeah, and do the requirements. Okay, three things, and then I'll do one more thing and I'll stop, and then maybe you could catch up. Okay, so I'll say Python main.py and my application is started, but it might not work. Tell me why.
You have not integrated.
Correct. Exactly. I have not integrated the thing. So everyone should get to this stage, and then we will kind of like go ahead and do more stuff. So we could just do the Elastic Cloud thing and stop the stuff, but we specifically want to make sure that you know how to build, or probably you see the real experience of building on a search engine. So any questions, doubts, or you're unable to follow up, even that, it's fine. Please tell us. You are unable to understand, you don't know the need, but you don't see the need for doing this, anything, please tell us, because we will learn. Maybe we will do it differently. We'll wait. Yeah, Animesh, could you please send me the details? And meanwhile, yeah, I got it. Yeah,
I've sent you.
Okay, I got it. So, okay, I think Animesh, you missed covering one particular part. Guess what? API key.
Sorry, API key.
Yeah. Maybe you want to share and again share and show that, and give me the read write API key as well.
I think, can you go ahead and do it, Arvind, if you don't mind? Are you logged in? I've sent you the URL.
But
and
it's not possible. I think I don't have the user ID and password.
No, I give you a user ID password as well.
Is it? Okay.
I gave you the admin user ID password, so I think that should be possible. Just open it up.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for giving me this.
No problem.
Okay, I think then we have everything. So we recently released this 7.10 and I just maybe last week, I think last week, and there are a lot of things that has changed. So even I'm like a bit taken back. I don't know a lot of stuff. Okay, any questions? I'll wait here and then give you like say 5 minutes till 14:30 and then we'll come back. Animesh, can you please mute your audio once? Gautam, this is not PHP. This is Python. Just Python, the regular one.
Yeah, sorry, the Python, how much time it will take? We do not have that.
It should not take more time. It should be, or else what I could do is like,
Any Angular app is there?
no, I don't have Angular app. Python is an easy one, but you can install. I think it is there in the prerequisite. But anyway, it's okay. You could also catch a note and meanwhile install Python. So I'll see how you can install on. You have Mac?
No, Windows.
If you have Ubuntu, it should come by default.
Okay.
If it is a Linux box, 99% of the time Python is coming with the box nowadays.
Okay.
You could also do apt-get and get it. It's very easy.
Okay.
So you don't need to know about anything about Python. It's
Yeah.
it's whatever I made is like very easy to start with actually.
I was trying to follow. Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Thanks.
So this is the download location. Problems of running it in virtual world is like we don't know like if you have really facing any problem or probably not working things in the right way. We couldn't really look into the computer and help. So that's a bigger problem actually. Yeah. Yeah, Nilesh, I think if you have installed Python uh, and check the Python version, I'll
This
paste.
3.8.6.
Perfect. Then you don't need to even create an environment because maybe you have only this Python version. I am creating because I have 2.x and 3.x. Okay, so you just clone just go to this particular thing and clone this particular, in a place where you want to do it, and then get into this place.
Okay.
And let us know if you have any doubts or stuck somewhere.
Sure.
So I have ran Python version. You can, if you have installed 3.x, I have ran this particular thing, and then I have did this Python. Okay, pip install -r requirements. This is the thing that we did. So Kumarvel, any questions? Anything that you found it like going well? Maybe someone. Okay, I think you're past the time. I think like we took 10 minutes to go through this. But if people are kind of like waiting to see what's next, so what we'll do is like we'll configure the app here. So in the previous thing, I showed you that that config.json needs to be configured. This is the base endpoint and the API key and the engine name. So and this will set the configuration. So first of all, let us go and get this base endpoint, and which is the API endpoint, like the endpoint, and then you have the engine name, which we already know, and then the API key. So how do I get it? So I'll go to the app search console. If you are doing something else, just for a while, keep it away, and like we'll see this, and then we'll come back to the same work. So I'll go to the, first of all, to get the API endpoint, I'll go to the credentials, and then you see API endpoint here. This is base endpoint, right? So I'll click copy on the keyboard, and this button, which will help us to copy that thing, and I can paste it. There's a small catch here, because we are using the client, and the client already adds the protocol, and it is there in the, it's in a different format. So what I did is I have, and it has some API and ending as well. So what I did is like I have added which is a suffix like API/AS/v1, which is AS means app search and v1 means version 1. And I will remove this for that. And then I don't want to make mistakes. Okay, API AS/v1. Okay, so I just added this base endpoint and then API key. So again, we will find the API key here itself. Like there are two types of keys. You can create multiple keys again. So one is a search key and one is a private key. So what search key does is only for search related, like querying. Okay, and private key is both for read and writes actually. So so you can also write. So you can put this in your app key, and this in your I mean some apps, some keys where there is a admin UI, and then that where you can write the data, and the another app which don't have a admin UI and which has user UI, you can put this one. So I mean, I'm talking from a UI perspective, or the putting the data into search engine. You can always log into this console and add data, like how Animesh has ingested all the data. But this is one other thing to look at. So I have copied that private key. Again, I'm pasting it here. And then obviously the engine name, as we know, is workshop-movies. So I'll say workshop-movies. So we are good with this config.json. I believe everyone are clear with this thing. If you have any questions, please let me know, and or stop me in between. I'll just go ahead and look the second way, because we have very less time and we need to complete this. So now talking about the code itself, Flask is a very simple framework, and it is not so complex at all. All these are endpoints that you have on your web app, and or the pages that you have, like search is one endpoint, index is one endpoint, all of this. And you start with the main function, say app.run debug false, that's it, and it will run. So these are the functions, methods in Java kind of language. These are functions that you create. So here, if you see, what I want to do is not to upload from the UI in the app search console. I just want to open this data file here and use the index API in the Python file, and then like push it to like the app search, index it from this side. So we can't show that now because we have already pushed the data. And from the import side, we kind of like added this package when we are installing the requirements. So that's it. Nothing special, nothing crazy. So if you see that base endpoint, we are configuring base endpoint. API key, we are getting the API key from the config.json, and saying HTTPS true, and then engine name is the engine name. That's it. So there is nothing crazy that we are doing here. It's pretty straightforward. When we are searching through the search bar, and so we are kind of like redirecting to something called results.html. When we open the app, it is going to home.html actually. And how do we search? Again, it's a simple client.search method query. That's it. It will simply go. If you want to see the home.html, it is there in the templates, and it's a simple HTML file with nothing. And I have the CSS file to show it in a different format. So let me now try if I could run this, but I didn't start the app. So let us try to start the app. Any questions?
So
Santosh?
one small bug in that. I mean, one line that we need to change in Git add app search branch. I mean, in your local it looks okay, but in the Git it's in 15th line. That can you see once? I sent you the link in the chat.
Okay, great. So please be on the master branch. I think that's the problem. Let me see Git status. I'm on the master branch. Please be on the master branch.
Okay.
So if you have checked out anything else, or if you have moved in via the workshop, then you might have some problems. So maybe like if you're going to the workshop, it's also fine. What is that? Yeah, which line is it?
15th line.
Yeah, just change it to the engine name. I think in this branch I didn't update. So see what is trying to pull from the config.json is the engine name, but we are trying to get the API key. Understood? So just change it to the engine name because I changed it here as well.
Okay.
I mean, engine name is the one that you need to pull. Okay. Clear. Then let me start this one. Python main.py. So it's running. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see if it works. Okay. There are very interesting movies here. Thanks, Animesh. You changed the order. So there are multiple movies. Of course I have limited the number of results that I have shown here, but you could also get more and do pagination and all. This is a simple thing that I have built. So now if I want to try Anand, and imagine that Animesh has done this thing, and we should see Anand here. Okay, Atish, because he did Atish as the first one. So you could do all the things without restarting your app from your app search console. Think of this like a search engine optimization console, and then this search bar will stay same. The app don't need to get restarted, but your search engine can optimize and change, and everything will look different. So let me kind of show you some more features. I think once we are in here, I believe everyone, you can for a while, like you kind of like stop and again look at it so that we can go ahead and do stuff. So we have synonyms here. So if you see, synonyms is a kind of a set wherein suppose if let me see if I have my name in this. Unfortunately, it is there. Okay, so I'll try Animesh name. So there can be sometimes you want to you have specific names that you are abbreviating, or say you call it acronyms, or you might be pronouncing it in a different manner than the regular in a colloquial terms. So how do you do that? So how do you change that? So using this synonyms, you can kind of derive or give equivalent meanings. Like say there is a famous place in Mumbai which called as BKC. It's called Bandra Kurla Complex. Either you type Bandra Kurla Complex, you didn't find anything for BKC, or you can kind of like type BKC, which will still give the same result. So now what we'll do is, because we don't have BKC in our data set, let us type some interesting movie, or say let us type action. So action is resulting these movies, right? So action, some stuff. Okay. Now let us create when I say, or let us, why not create Bombay? Let us see what is coming from Bombay so that you can also see Bombay. Yeah. Okay. Let us create Bombay. BKC Bombay. So now I'll save this. Earlier we didn't have any results for BKC. So now we should see Bombay related results for that term. So we'll create a synonym. Again, this is an Elasticsearch concept. We're just using the same concept here in a much better manner, easier for developers and still make it useful. See? So this way you could do more stuff. Like imagine this app being containerized and you checked everything and then you deploy it on a service like app service. We might not have good enough time to do all of that today, but you could always follow and ask us more questions. I want to kind of like, do all of that, but then I think it's difficult, but I would just showcase some more stuff and let you build and answer questions. And then curations animation has already shown. If you don't want to show specific, results, like say, I don't want this one to be queried at all by anybody. So you could remove that and then you could reduce, like you could reduce that particular data using result settings. You can do that. What else? Yeah. So, and on the analytics part also, if you see that there is one thing that has been there, that sometimes when you type BKC top queries with no clicks, like BKC, nothing is there. And also top queries with no results. BKC was typed in, but there are no results. So sometimes people type and you might not find that in the search engine, right? And how do you know that? You need to analyze the data. So that is how it is helpful for you in that manner. And everything is powered by Elasticsearch. We are just molding that clay into a much better format. So if I click on a specific movie, like say this particular, it will take me to the poster page, right? And it will also register that the click has taken place. So through the click through analytics that is there, that like how many people have clicked on something. So or how many queries which resulted in no clicks. That means people didn't look into it. So this is a pure search engine stuff that we are trying to do here. And then more related to the search experience. This is more helpful when you are building something like Swiggy and all of that. Good. Any questions?
Yeah, can we write any condition to restrict some data based on some column?
Yeah, that's what I was showing right here. If you have result settings, you could always refine it in your app. I'm not doing anything on my app side, but always you can, see, see saying like enrich search results and select which fields will appear. So I can remove that. I can remove say some specific field to be shown. Of course, it will not show in my app if I'm just showing it. This thing will lay. Say if I want to remove this and say save and save results, and it will not be shown. That's it.
Yeah, so here you are removing the column, but in that column we need to check some value comparison, like if actor equal to this one, don't display
No.
condition.
See, I'll tell you. So here I believe that I'm still explaining it the same way, but I'm tell you. So whenever you query the data, it will give you a result like this on the client side, right? And what we are trying to do is here essentially remove this entire this field from the response. Actually, the
Yeah.
response, we are removing this field in your client side. If you don't, so most of the people what they do is like they don't have special handling all the times on all the data. So I am just now not doing anything. If you see my code, I'm just displaying whatever is there. Wait a
Yeah,
second.
right.
So I'm just displaying whatever is coming in the results.html. I'm having a UI placeholder. That's it.
Okay.
My UI placeholder will not work if I remove that particular thing.
Okay.
Like say if I remove poster path and saved, all the queries will stop working, will stop showing anything and everything. Like I say, it has an error, but it will stop working. So my thing is, if you have to change, you can change it this way. It all depends on your app coding and all.
Correct.
But your most of the what do you call, your stuff can be managed through this one, like your tuning schema, that is and all. You can also reindex the data. Say if I think that a specific data type is like geopoint or a date or a number or something, you can reindex the data, update the types, or you can create a new field as well.
Okay.
So any other question? Otherwise, like I think you could always like go ahead and do more. I can show more actually. I could tell you more stuff regarding like, this Docker file and creating this app service actually on the portal. So what I've done is like I have a app service account, and then I have installed and shown this. I can share you that link so that you can also do the demo, see the demo and like do it by yourself. But otherwise, I'll show you one more feature, and then we'll tell. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to take it now. Any questions, anyone? No questions. Good. I think either whatever we discussed is completely in, or like you're not able to make it out. So, but then let us move to the reference UI. So this is the last feature that I'm going to tell you what's so important about it. So this is using the API and a Python client. I have built this one, right? So how about building this in a different manner? So we have another open source project which is called React, which is called Reference UI, or it is powered by a library, search library called Search UI. So what happens here is I could choose how the data should look like in the search engine, and then I could generate a React.js sample app using this place. So for this particular thing, this one, filters, I could choose genres, I could choose this particular resultant field, and then sort fields, I'll say IMDb rating, and URL field, I could choose Wikipedia link or poster path. I'll choose poster path. And then, when I click generate preview, what it'll do is like it'll generate a React.js app which you can download and go to my command terminal and say like npm start. It'll spin up localhost 3000, and then you can add CSS, your own company CSS. Done. Simple and easy. So again, the search bar contains all the things that we have till now, configured, and everything has been done. So it is much easier than what we are doing right now. So what I'm doing is like I have taken this Flask framework and I've built. This is more of a front end thing. So yeah. So any question here? Great. If you don't have any questions, I think we are good. And I believe that this would have given some sort of a idea to you. If not, you can always like comment, or like you can comment here, or like write to me, and then we are happy to help you on getting started. This is one way to build a search functionality using the Elasticsearch thing. Another, there are many ways to do this because Elasticsearch is used in a different format. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, we are here for another 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll start the next workshop. Meanwhile, happy to answer your questions. Yeah, Nimesh, if you want to add anything, yeah.
Yeah, I think, thanks, Arvind. I think that was pretty good. I guess anything as a follow-up, if you intend to try it at home and if you come up with questions, feel free to reach us, reach either me or Arvind. I don't know how. I think LinkedIn is one way for sure. And the second way would be we do have some AMA sessions that we do once in a while. So you could join that, and you have our Elastic Slack channel. We have a Slack channel where we hang out, and we can we can answer your queries as well. So it's a community challenge, and there are a lot of people from Elastic who hang out over there waiting for questions and answering them. I think, yeah, if there is no other thing, then let's call it a day. I guess people are getting hungry probably. It's 3 almost. I definitely am hungry. Okay.
So I've shared the Slack link. I've shared the Slack link, and please also like share the feedback. It's important for us to learn and then improve. What do you want to see, or how it can be better. You didn't like the trainer. You want a better trainer. You definitely can say anything and everything, and we are happy to help. So yeah, that's the Slack channel group, and then the forum where you can ask questions. Yeah, some material link during the start. Okay, this is the link. When I say material, this is the link that for everything, including you get everything there. So you just need to get started with that. That's it. Nothing more than that. That's it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Have a great one. Bye.
Yeah, have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you.